Hello everyone and welcome to this newsletter of August 5th. May you live in interesting times is a Chinese curse which confusingly is sometimes also invoked as a blessing. The current times are certainly interesting and the economic and social havoc wreaked by COVID is undoubtedly a curse. But the way in which we respond to it has the capacity to be a blessing. Tough times are a curse if they make us more self-centered, insular and fearful of others, but they're a blessing if they make us more empathetic and altruistic. As educators, our task is to find ways to help students avoid the curse and find the blessing of times such as these. The emphasis that St. Joseph's places on inclusion and care for others reminds us of just how core the latter is to our mission. And of course, our model for inclusion is Jesus Christ, who was the great includer. We know that Jesus' core message was to love one another, and the Gospels show him seeking out and including sinners, lepers, prostitutes, tax collectors, and ethnic minorities, pretty much everybody whom the society of the day tried to exclude. Our goal at St. Joseph's is to ensure that everyone's welcome, everyone feels that they belong, and that no one feels marginalised or discriminated against in any way. This is our goal every week, every year. But last week it was in sharp focus as we celebrated Diversity Week. The core message of Diversity Week is acceptance and inclusion of all people, regardless of age, race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. Some students, and some adults for that matter, find aspects of this message difficult because they confuse inclusion and acceptance with promotion. While we continue to educate our students about their legal and moral obligations in how they treat those who are different, we also understand that this educative process is an ongoing one, and it's far from complete. And to those who would seek to run the argument that acceptance does equal promotion, I'd refer them back to the Gospels and point out that Jesus didn't encourage sin or sinners, just inclusion and acceptance of everybody. It might also be timely to reflect on some recent words from Pope Francis from his weekly audience of the 23rd of June. Francis said, "Indeed, today too, there is no shortage of preachers who, especially through new means of communication, can disturb communities. They present themselves not primarily to announce the gospel of God who loves man in Jesus, but to insist as true keepers of the truth, or so they call themselves, on the best way to be Christians. And they strongly affirm that the true Christianity is the one they adhere to, often identified with certain forms of the past, and that the solution to the crises of today is to go back so as not to lose the genuineness of the faith. Today too, as then, there is a temptation to close oneself up in some of the certainties acquired in past traditions. But ultimately, faith in the Holy Spirit present in the Church carries us forward and will save us." As always, some really deep thinking material from the Holy Father. It seems increasingly likely that we can expect state-based lockdowns to continue in Australia until the great majority of people are vaccinated. In the coming months, as a variety of COVID-19 vaccines become more widely available, there will be ongoing debate about whether or not one should be vaccinated and whether or not one's children should be vaccinated. This has become particularly into focus because it seems that children are more prone to infection by the Delta variant. We know that vaccinated people are less likely to suffer serious illness if infected, and significantly, that they're less likely to transmit the virus to others. In short, vaccination makes you safer and it makes the people around you safer. Of course, there will be those who choose not to be vaccinated, as is their right. But this individual right while it must be respected, must also be balanced with the obligation each of us have to keep those around us safe. In these interesting times, we continue to be challenged not to lose sight of our obligation to care for others. And I think our gospel imperative to love one another makes the answer to the "should I be vaccinated" question relatively straightforward. One of the strategic goals of the college in recent years has been to improve student literacy and reading. Our library manager, Joy Whiteside, and the library staff have continued to improve the amenity of the library, and it's now a wonderfully welcoming and inviting space. There's a photo attached to the hard copy of this newsletter. I'm really pleased to report that borrowing rates in the library are continuing to climb, as are the number of students using it as a space to read and study. More literate students are better equipped to understand their world and make good and informed decisions. I hope that your son and all students will take the opportunity to visit and enjoy learning in the library. And finally, an important note around child safety. It's paramount to all of us, and we've been made aware in recent days that some students, including some from St Joseph's, have been approached in the local area by an adult male driving a white car. Students walking home from school have been asked to get into the car before it drove away. Please reinforce safe behaviours with your children and remind them of how to respond to strangers if approached. God bless.